And yeah, we'll go on. So today we are continuing with the California wildfires. Let's reveal the truth. Um, Once again, I'm going to show you guys some footages, as I like to say, and I will be revealing the agenda, what they have planned for California now that they burned it down. Everything is alleged and fair use.
I would characterize it as a DEI, Green New Deal, hydrogen bomb. It's something out of Dante's Inferno. And what I mean by that is it's a systems breakdown, a civilizational collapse. When you look at the people in charge, Gavin Newsom flew in to sort of do these performance art stunts. But he has systematically ensured that water out of the Sacramento River and the watershed of Northern California would go out to the sea rather than into the aqueduct. So Los Angeles didn't have sufficient amounts of water. He bragged not very long ago that he blew up 4 dams on the Klamath River. They provided 80,000 homes with clean hydroelectric power. They offered recreation, flood control, irrigation. He blew them up. California's fire management, whether we look at the Paradise Fire or the Aspen Fire near where I'm speaking, it destroyed 60 million trees. We have no timber industry in California. He's dismantled it. We don't clean the forest. We don't let loggers come in and have a viable livelihood by harvesting trees. It's sort of considered natural to let these things burn, or to at least create the conditions in which they will inevitably be burned. It's almost as we don't like humans. We worry about grubs and worms and birds in the ecosystem. Second breakdown was the mayor, Karen Bass, was in Africa. You tell me why the mayor of the 3rd largest city in the United States at fire season, when she had been warned and warned for days on end that the Santa Ana winds were up to 100 miles an hour in the evening and there was a danger of fire, and she goes off to Africa for the inauguration of the president of Ghana? With all due respect, Mayor Bob, who cares? You have an obligation to the 6 million people of greater Los Angeles. So, and then we have the fire chief. All I do care is her emphases. She's been bragging for the last 2 years that her goal was to make sure it was diverse and inclusive. That can be good if it's competent. But when you announce that 70% of your hiring will not be meritocratic, but will be based on diversity, equity, inclusion, then you're not putting the interest of your constituents first. There wasn't enough water pressure in Pacific Palisades. Pacific Palisades is not where I live. It's one of the wealthiest, most exclusive neighborhoods in the United States. If they don't have water, then no one's going to get water, believe me. There's not enough insurance. There were famous actors that didn't have insurance. Why? Because this industry is overregulated. It's fraught with people who make fraudulent claims. And the insurance industry knows that California is hostile to it, but more importantly, that it will never clean up its forest or take preventive, time-tried, ancient protocols to lessen the dangers of fire. And so put it all together, whether it's a deliberate policy to not store water, not preserve water. Last year was one of the wettest years that we've had. We've had 3 out of the last 4 years have been very, very wet. We had a huge snowpack. We had rivers that were running in 19th century fashion, but out to the sea to save the Delta smelt. So it was a total systems collapse, from the idea of not spending money on irrigation, storage, water, fire prevention, and forest management, a viable insurance industry, a DEI hierarchy. You put it all together, and it's something like a DEI Green New Deal. Gavin Newsom was fiddling it. He's almost Nero Newsom. And this has been something that is just unimaginable, this systems breakdown. And to finish, what we're seeing in California is a state with 40 million people. And yet the people who run it feel that it should return to a 19th century pastoral condition. They are de-civilizing the state and de-industrializing the state and de-farming the state, but they're not telling the 40 million people that their lifestyles will have to revert back to the 19th century when you had no protection from fire, you didn't have enough water in California, you didn't have enough power, you didn't pump oil. So we are deliberately making these decisions not to develop energy, not to develop a timber industry, not to protect the insurance industry, not to protect houses and property. And we're doing it in almost a purely nihilistic fashion. And Karen Bass should resign. She came to the airport back from Africa. She had nothing to say. She was confronted at the airport. Why were you in Africa? Why did you cut the fire department? They cut the fire department by almost $18 million. They gave fire protective equipment to Ukraine's first responders. And she had nothing to say. She had nothing to say because she couldn't say anything. I don't want to be too pessimistic or bleak tonight, but this is one of the most alarming symptoms of a society gone mad. And if this continues, and if this were to spread to other states, we would become a third world country if we're not in parts already.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened. So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There was no communication from the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the reservoir was empty.
This reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water. The fire department was using a water supply from 3 backup tanks, each one only holding 1 million gallons of water.
They say it's closed for maintenance to repair the lid that's on top of it. I don't know a lot about reservoir maintenance, but there's literally no construction materials or vehicles anywhere in sight. Also, with a reservoir like this, you can refill it or start to refill it. So another question is, if they saw the Santa Ana winds were coming and we have this remarkably dry wet season, why was there no attempt to start refilling it back up? I know I threw a lot out there, but I think we need some answers.
California has been trying for years to destroy Western civilization. Well, this is what it looks like. They finally did it. Primetime's calling for a federal takeover of California. When a state becomes this dangerous and the government becomes this reckless, where the lives of millions of American citizens are being destroyed, their homes obliterated, their infrastructure annihilated, look at what we're seeing. This is a war scene.
One of LA's wealthiest suburbs, in the grip of an inferno.
A chunk of land the size of San Francisco has been destroyed. Some of the most beautiful land in the world. Parts of Pacific Palisades look like Hiroshima after the atomic bomb. Even Morning Joe can't defend this. And they've defended everything, and I mean everything.
We don't know the exact causes for the complete failure of government to be able to protect these homes. I don't think we can say it's the smelt alone. We don't know what it is, but I do think it's going to be like Hurricane Katrina. I mean, the infrastructure has been slashed. It's hard to hear people say in one of the richest cities in the world that, we don't have enough water to protect people's homes.
We're witnessing the collapse of liberal society. Everything's on fire, falling apart at the same time because of stupidity, corruption, and radical priorities.
It looked to me as I traveled when I was out with you in California, what it reminded me of more of a war scene where you had certain targets that were bombarded, where artillery was just blew them up. With no rhyme or reason. In other words, you'd have this fire going crazy and burning everything down and 3 houses being fine. Nothing's happening. Or neighborhoods that were still green. And next to a place that, for example, we're just looking at a Secret Service house that was out there. All the vehicles are melted. Yet the house next door still has green shrubbery on it. And, the house is fine. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 houses in that 200, it's in the Pasadena area. But my generic point is, it's almost like it's a battle scene. Yes, and by the way, if you notice you fly over in a helicopter, those places with good roofs, they didn't burn.
With the right materials.
Yeah. So we got to change that. Anyway.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
The FBI is hunting for the person who crashed their drone into one of the super scoopers battling the Palisades fire. The illegally operated drone put a hole in the wing of the plane and grounding it while the fire crew was trying to put out the fire. The FAA has imposed flight restrictions over the area, and the LA County District Attorney has promised to prosecute anyone who violates it.
Who would have thought? We've all had a really big lesson.
What is it?
That our experience of reality can change in a moment.
Gavin Newsom has announced dictatorial rule, placing his commission in control of the entire city, to suspend all laws and regulations under emergency rule, to bring in the UN treaty model for sustainable 15-minute cities starting in the Palisades, suspending everyone's property rights as a giant test of the model of the future, what the UN and the IMF and World Bank have already been doing in the third world for 80 years. This is massive. He's announced the Marshall Plan LA 2.0.
Over the course of the next several years, Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup, and then the Super Bowl, and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing it in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine. The opportunity with all of that and all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan? Tell us about this Marshall Plan.
We're just starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community with folks that love this community to really develop a mindset so that at scale we're dealing with the scope of this tragedy and responding to it at scale with efficiency, like the executive order I talked about, time value of delivering projects, addressing building codes, addressing permitting issues, and moving forward to rebuilding and being more resilient.
The talking about now is the Great Reset's trendy new name for open-air prison camps. The idea is to corral everyone into neighborhoods small enough to walk from one end to the other in 15 minutes. Everything you need within a half-mile radius, so that you'll never, ever have to leave.
Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs, and obviously there's a great need for high-density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks, and you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single-family homes, hello high-density housing.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But they seem pretty well equipped, some of these people that they're catching.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions, Mel.
So the agenda has been revealed. And this is not just the agenda that is being put forth for California. This is what they're trying to do everywhere. These 15-minute cities. It's an urban planning concept in which most daily necessities and services, such as work, shopping, education, healthcare, and leisure, can be easily reached by a 15-minute walk, bike ride, or public transit from any point in the city. This is our government. They plan to decimate California, and they have plans for the rest of the world too. They want to usher in the new world order, one world government, in these 15-minute cities that are like prison camps. It's time to wake up. It's time to speak up. Take a quick look at this video. It was made in September of 2023. And then we're going to close out.
You need to hear what he has to say.
Man, if you in California, Nevada, West Coast period, y'all need to be looking to move, because she really happening. She really finna hit the fan. The book of Revelation. Even if y'all don't believe in the book of Revelation, y'all gotta understand that these people wrote this book to fulfill it they self, right? State of Louisiana and on up through, y'all need to leave. Y'all don't know what's going on, so let me show y'all what's going on. Some insurance company are pulling out of states like California, Florida, and Louisiana after major natural disasters, leaving homeowners and businesses with more risk and fewer options. Hold on. Do y'all understand what this means? Do y'all understand what they planning for? For y'all who don't know what they planning for, I'ma need y'all to know. Why? Because I'm finna show y'all. Hold on. This the map right here. Look. Y'all see that? Y'all see the whole West Coast? Water. Y'all see Louisiana on up through? Water. Ain't that supposed to be like from Louisiana? Ain't that where the Mississippi River travels, something like that? Yeah. I'm telling y'all, the stuff that's happening with the wildfires, y'all, shit, earthquakes, insurance company pulling out Why would y'all think an insurance company will pull out risk losing all that money for what? Y'all don't think that they know something bad is finna happen? Y'all don't think that? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't even like talking like that because it goes over a lot of people's head because people just don't want to know or people just don't care. That's why I talk about shit like what people want to feel entitled to voice their opinion under. Boosie, Young Blue, Gaddy. But shit like this, I always know. I'm always ahead of the game. And I know one thing. These people is going to change this world.
Wake up, everyone. This is all being done by design. Our government could give a buck less about us. The higher ups are showing you who is in control. And when I say higher ups, I do not mean celebrities. Oh no, because they are being burned out of their homes too. Their insurance also has been canceled. Biden is off in his usual place, La La Land, talking about his grandson. Mayor Bass left her brain in Ghana. And the governor, Gavin Newsom, he's more worried about his appearance, his clout, and celebrity. We're in trouble, y'all. Wake up. The Pope is opening portals. CERN is discovering magic. They're chemtrailing and making people sick everywhere. They're freezing us to death in the East Coast. We're burning people to death on the West Coast. The hurricanes have intensified. Tornadoes are in places that they never were in before. Places that don't have earthquakes are now having small tremors. We have unexplained drones, orbs, and flying objects in the sky that our government can't explain.
It just shot straight up in the sky.
They don't want you to know what's in those vaccines and their side effects. They don't want you to know what's beyond that ice wall. They don't want you to realize that NASA is nothing but lies and we can't leave lower Earth's orbit. They don't want us to see the fake foods that we're eating or the infected meats that they're serving us. They don't want us to know these things, y'all. So it's time to wake up and educate yourselves. This is the end of this video. I hope I was informative to you guys. I really tried my best. I will have more videos to come. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Hit that notification bell when you subscribe. Set it to all to be notified anytime I go live, premiere, or upload. Be kind to one another and pray for everyone. Unapologetically Mika, out.
Hey, it's me, Unapologetically Mika. Unapologetically Mika. Binge books, enjoy true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Hey, it's me, Unapologetically Mika. Unapologetically Mika. Binge books, enjoy true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. It's me, Unapologetically Mika. It's me, Unapologetically Mika. It's me, Unapologetically Mika. It's me, Unapologetically Mika. Unapologetically Mika. Binge books, enjoy true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Hey, it's me, Unapologetically Mika. Unapologetically Mika. Binge books, enjoy true crime stories on real life issues and more. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe and subscribe.